Well, good evening, everyone. Round number 2. It is moving in tonight. The snow from last night that is, of course, moved out. All the snow that we had that accumulated, that's all going to wash away. Tonight, the primary concern is freezing rain, leading to icing into the morning commute for your Wednesday. Then we're going to shift our attention to the potential for flash flooding, also ice jam flooding, poor drainage flooding. 2 to 3 inches of rain along with snow melt will cause some problems late in the day and more so into tomorrow night. And we're going to focus in on some strong southerly winds. Winds will be strongest at the coastline. I think mid-coast Maine will get some gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour. Elsewhere, it's probably 40 to 55 miles per hour. We'll highlight all of this in just a second here. But one of those multi-variable storms, and looks like the worst of it will probably be tomorrow evening. Let's take a look at what we have right now. Thanks for joining us tonight on YouTube, Facebook, and usually I say Twitter or X, but for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be working on X right now. So that's no big deal, though. We have other platforms here and YouTube. So thanks for joining us tonight. That's the bottom line here. Let's highlight how this storm's going to go down. We have a little bit of freezing rain and freezing drizzle moving in. I just checked out a lot of the surface observations. A lot of the ASOS stations are having trouble trying to pinpoint what type of precipitation is falling. Those are automated station at airports. Freiburg's reporting freezing rain. We're seeing some of them like Lewiston and up towards Augusta, some unknown precip is being reported. I think I saw one spot. We're actually reporting some snow. Where was that? Let's take a look. I wonder if that's actually falling. Yeah. It's actually Lewiston reported a little bit of snow. So if you're watching this from Lewiston or Auburn, let me know if you saw any snowflakes. At least the airport in Auburn thinks there were snowflakes falling. All right. There's the snow, the freezing rain. Oh, same problem again as last night. Hang tight, everyone. We're going to try to fix this again. Stop screen. Present. Hold on. We're going to fix this. Oh, that's not good. Having an issue displaying this. Give me 1 sec, folks. We're going to get this. So we bring it up, share screen, window. Here we go. All right, it's back working. Same problem as last night. Thanks for bearing with me. Looks like a few hundred of you hung with me here, so I appreciate that. All right, the Doppler HG is picking up on the freezing rain, moving back in, and that is going to be an issue heading into the morning hours tomorrow. If you're watching us last night, we're highlighting that the entire day today would probably stay in the 20s, and that was the case. Temperatures today did not get out of the 20s and will probably stay in the 20s all night and into the morning hours tomorrow. Right now, temperatures are in the 20s for most areas. Sanford, Portsmouth, some of the warmer spots. You know, it's one of those unique situations. If Mount Washington is one of the warmer spots, they're at 6,000 feet, of course. And we'll continue to see temperatures a little below freezing overnight. As we wind things out to show you where the storm is coming from, center of low pressure, there's actually a few centers, but one right here. Let's draw in the fronts. There's a cold front right here. And there's a warm front. Warm front's doing this. Little loop-de-loop right here. Clearly, the warm front has not made it through northern New England, right? Temps are in the 20s. And the warm front probably won't get through our region until late in the day tomorrow, at least until tomorrow afternoon. Now, it's interesting. There's a tremendous amount of moisture surging north, right up the eastern seaboard. And when you compare that to what was happening last week at this time, it's pretty cool to think of. Remember last week we had that modified Arctic air moving in? Basically, we had an air mass coming right out of the Arctic Circle, coming right from the North Pole and into northern New England. That was late last week, last Friday. And this week, we have almost the exact opposite. We have an air mass coming straight out of the Caribbean in the Bahamas. So it's almost a tropical air mass moving in. So you will notice a major change by tomorrow evening in how it feels. Dew points will be up there. It's going to get warm back into the 50s. But a good chunk of the day, I think that cold air is going to hang on tomorrow. So there's the warm front trying to punch through. It will eventually tomorrow, late in the day. That's 7 a.m. We're still have the cold air in place. We're going to highlight that in a minute here. Main events tomorrow evening, tomorrow night. Greatest chance for flooding, greatest chance for power outages will be 5 p.m. to midnight for power outages. And then that front swings through. We'll get a well-deserved sunny day on tap for our Thursday. Well-deserved, I think. All right, let's focus in on the multivariable storm here. I want to take this one step at a time. We'll go through all the advisories and all the warnings. The first one, going in order basically, is the winter weather advisory. And the other thing, hopefully this works here. I did change the color of my arrow. There we go. We have a winter weather advisory for inland parts of Maine and New Hampshire for until 10 a.m. tomorrow. So there is the potential for freezing rain in that region until the morning hours, into and through the morning tomorrow. There is a winter weather advisory for coastal areas for freezing rain until 4 a.m. So the reason I highlight this, there's the chance for slippery spots right into the morning commute, 5 a.m. Notice most of you are a little below freezing still. The exception, Rockland, Portsmouth here. And this is a model that's a pretty good handle on how it's going down. This will take us to about midday or so. We're seeing the cold air slowly being eroded. So we'll start to see some improvement late morning and midday, but there's nothing really warm about what's happening into early tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures will be in the 30s. Of course, we'll have some on and off rainfall. I think heaviest rain is still reserved for tomorrow night, and we're probably going to be getting about 2 to 3 inches of rain out of this. And some folks have been asking me, do you think there'll be school delays tomorrow? And I think that's definitely on the table, especially inland. Now, the one thing that's a little bit of a monkey wrench in that, we just had a snow event last night. So the roads are well treated right now. So we're getting freezing rain for many of you as we speak, and we'll continue to get that overnight. But as far as the salted roads, most of those that are treated are in good shape. So that will continue to be the case. But, side roads, the sidewalks, the side step, the back deck, be mindful of all these. They could be pretty slippery tomorrow morning. So again, lunchtime, we're starting to see that improvement with temps through the 30s, and we'll get a quick jump. It could be one of those where in 1 hour, the temperature could jump 15 degrees. We should get in the 50s tomorrow during the late afternoon into the evening. All right, let's shift gears now and talk about the wind. So we just highlighted the winter weather advisory. I want to highlight the wind advisory now. Areas in the tan, which includes Stratford County, Rockingham County, New Hampshire, York County, Maine, Cumberland County, Androscoggin County, Kennebec County. I think our peak wind gusts in this region will get 45 to 55 miles per hour. And the time frame for that is 5 p.m. to midnight. So our strongest winds will be in that window, and it's more likely earlier in that window over western zones and later in that window over eastern areas. High wind warning goes into effect at 6 p.m. in the areas in the orange. That includes mid-coast Maine. In that region, we'll probably get some gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour. And all of this is enough for some power outages. The good news working in our favor this time of year, unlike 3 months ago, we don't have leaves on the trees. Ground is frozen. So, we can handle a wind, 40 to 50 miles per hour a lot better than the way we could handle a strong wind gust just a few months ago. With leaves on the trees, trees will blow around more, and with a softer ground after like rain events, for instance, you get more uprooted trees, but the ground is mostly frozen at this point. So that's good news there as well. But with that said, there will be some power outages tomorrow night, and we're going to highlight 5 p.m. to midnight for strongest winds. During the day tomorrow, we'll get a little gusty in the afternoon, but it will be pretty manageable. So the day itself, after the freezing rain, it will just be on and off rain. When it's not raining, it's drizzling. And then the main event will be tomorrow night, but not only rainfall, but also strongest winds. So this is one of those forecast models that kind of highlights what's going down here. There will be spots that don't get much wind at all. The atmosphere will be more stable here as the inversion holds a little bit longer. So we're probably going to be seeing our strongest southerly winds 5 p.m. to midnight. Notice some gusts over 50 miles per hour from Portland. I'm not convinced Lewiston's going to hit 50 miles per hour. We'll see. I think Augusta will. And mid-coast Maine will probably get over 60 miles per hour up towards the Rockland area. And definitely some of the marine locations, you'll probably get over 60 miles per hour as well. Some of the buoys, for instance, and some of the lighthouses. Like down towards Pemaquid, for instance. Yeah, you'll get some rocking winds down there with gusts over 60. So the areas that will probably get some wind gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour, it's probably in this window right there, in that little area from Brunswick, Bath, all the peninsulas and islands here from Harpswell to Boothbay Harbor, Pemaquid, Port Clyde, all of those regions right there, you stand the greatest chance to get the strongest winds. It's coming right out of the south. Now, I guess some other good news, we get a marine inversion in place. So a lot of forecast modeling will way overshoot what to expect for wind gusts. And I've seen some posted online, which is kind of amusing. But there is a low level jet of about 100 knots, about 95 knots at about 4,000 feet. That theoretically cannot mix down to the ground level simply because we have the big temperature difference between the ocean water temperature, or the air mass just above the ocean water, and the air mass associated with a storm kind of screaming over the water there. So that leads to a marine inversion. We see this all the time in the wintertime. So with that said, though, we're going to get some strong winds, and we are going to get some power outages for tomorrow. And again, gusts, if you're just joining us, the gusts in the area in Tan, probably 45 to 55 miles per hour. Areas across mid-coast Maine to Penobscot Bay, you probably get gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour. And lighter winds are expected the farther west you go. So as we go back towards, I didn't mean to do that, like interior parts of, even northern interior York County, up towards Bridgeton and Cumberland County, all the way back through the hills, non-elevated areas through the hills and mountains. You'll probably get gusts 25 to 35 miles per hour. So there we go. It's a wide area here. I think my guess is Lewiston gets like 40 to 45. Augusta will probably hit 50. If I had to put a number on it, Portland probably gets a little over 50 miles per hour, somewhere in the 45 to 55 range. A lot of this area across mid-coast Maine here gets in the 55 to 65 range. And it's not going to be nearly as windy in this region here, but we have elevated areas that will be windy. The mountains, of course. I mean, that's a no-brainer. So that's the wind. Now shifting gears to the flooding. There's a flood watch that goes into effect Wednesday afternoon, extends through Thursday morning. What are we watching here? We're watching for the potential for 2 to 3 inches of rain. That in combination with snow melt could lead to some problems with some river flooding. Some rapid rises in streams could lead to some flooding there. Some culvert washouts are certainly possible in that sort of setup. Ice jam flooding is a possibility. Most rivers, the more reactive rivers, are expected to reach minor flood stage. If you remember the December storm last year, we had major flood stage. We're not expecting that unless something changes in the forecast. We're not expecting the, historic crests or anything like that. But there's a decent snowpack in the mountains. We also have high dew points, a lot of moisture coming up over that snowpack. And that's something you look for because not only are we looking at rain, but also high dew points. And it's the combination of both that lead to that rapid snow melt. So say you get 3 inches of rain and say you get, warm temperatures in the 40s and 50s, and you have high dew points in the 50s as well. That's what leads to the rapid snow melt like we saw on December 17th and 18th of 2023. A few things that are changing this year with this storm system compared to that one. The duration of the warmth is not nearly as long. There's not as much rainfall either, and the rivers are not nearly as high as they were last year either. So we have that working in our favor as far as not seeing the flooding that we saw last December 17th and 18th. With that said, though, there probably will be some flooding tomorrow. Some of the streams, ice jams are certainly worth watching. Some of the rivers that have ice on them, they're all going to break up tomorrow. And all the snow is going to go away tomorrow, for most areas anyway. I know what you're thinking. The ski resorts are going to take a hit. It's the ski resorts, the man-made snow that they have at the ski resorts, that's not bulletproof. I think this rain probably won't really touch that, and they'll be rebuilding after this as far as the snowpack goes. And I think by the end of the month, probably the last week and a half of the month, there's probably going to be a decent pattern for more snow, and that may get going as soon as a week from Saturday. I'm seeing signs that there may be a storm that tries to form. In fact, maybe a couple storms that try to form starting not this weekend coming up, but the following weekend and extending into the holiday week there. So got off topic right there, but that is the flood watch. And that's what we're watching for tomorrow, mainly tomorrow night. 2 to 3 inches of rain, certainly possible. This is just a computer model, so take it with a grain of salt. There'll be a lot of moisture surging north. So 6 o'clock in the evening, this is when we're probably getting into some of the worst of the the storm here. And again, it's not heavy rain all day. The rain is varying in intensity, and it's probably just going to be drizzle when it's not raining. But out ahead of this, we're seeing some pretty warm temperatures. And I think this forecast model is overshooting as far as the warmth goes. And probably won't reach 60, but we'll get in the 50s tomorrow. After some freezing rain early in the day, it's pretty remarkable when you think about how warm it could get late in the day on Wednesday. That's 6 p.m. But the reason I want to stop this here, that we're highlighting this little chunk right here. There may even be an embedded thunderstorm of real downpours as that front moves through. And it's probably just ahead of that front that we're getting into our strongest winds, and we'll probably see that around 5 p.m. to midnight. My guess is more like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the evening, about 24 hours from now. How about that? So hopefully we'll have time to do that. If I'm not on the air, I think I should be able to come in. We'll do another digital studio tomorrow night, but that's how it's probably going to go down. And some well-deserved sun returns on Thursday. I think Thursday is going to be a pretty good day. Some of the models indicating some more clouds with a late-day snow shower possible Thursday, but things will be improving for Thursday, Friday. It's a weather-worn day for wind at the coastline tomorrow evening, 5 p.m. to midnight. It's a weather-worn day for rain and the potential for flooding due to rain and snow melt combination. Especially back through the headwaters, some areas back to the hills and mountains. That's probably going to be our greatest chance for seeing some flooding there. But poor drainage flooding, that's all a possibility as well. Some of the cities that have a lot of pavement and bad drainage, that's something to be mindful of. If you get a lot of rain, it comes at a very short period of time, and we get that with the snow melt. It could cause some problems. Friday, Saturday, Sunday all look pretty good. I'm starting to get a better idea of how early next week's going to go down. There'll be a little system that moves in probably Monday into Tuesday. And if we see any wintry precip with that, it's probably late Monday. It doesn't look to be a big storm, but that's something to keep an eye on, I guess. And some morning rain is possible on Tuesday of next week. There you go. All right. So that's all I had. And hopefully I can answer some of your questions right now. It looks like there are a bunch of you guys jumping in here. So let's see if we can jump on that here. Let's see if we can find a graphic to hang tight on here for a minute. Let's see. I think I showed you everything, but we'll answer some questions now. I don't know. All righty. All right. So he says, Barbie says, good evening. What kind of wind are we going to get in Sydney? Oh, okay. Sydney up in Kennebec County. You'll probably get gusts. It's funny because Augusta always gets some pretty strong winds, but the airport there is elevated. So it's kind of on a little plateau. So Sydney, especially down in the valley there, the Kennebec River Valley, you'll probably get some gusts. My guess around 40 to 50 miles per hour. Freezing rain leads, Joyce says. Thanks for the report. Appreciate it. Freezing rain, 30 degrees in Albany, New Hampshire. All right. Thank you, Paul. Appreciate the update there. Nice spot you have there in Albany. Klein's checking in from Carabasset Valley. Thanks, Klein. Sanford checking in. Thanks, Allie. Oh, we have hello from Southport Island. Oh, I love Southport Island, Brenda. Nice spot you have right there. Beautiful. Nothing in Auburn right now. Good. All right. Thanks, Brandy. I think Brandy's responding to the question I had. Is it snowing in Auburn? Because the airport reported snow. It was probably a little bit of light freezing rain or freezing drizzle. Come on. Want the day off from school? I think you get a shot tomorrow. It's freezing rain in the morning. Maybe a delay. How's that sound? But roads are treated. I know I'm very poor at predicting what superintendents will do. That's got to be a hard job. I don't know. I wouldn't want that one. That's a hard one to call off or delays. But I don't know. I think superintendents, they might be a little, it's getting into the holiday week coming up, why not give the kids a delay? We'll see. Sanford checking in about what to expect for tomorrow night. Allie, yeah. Okay. So Sanford, yeah, you'll get some strong gusts, probably 40 to 50 miles per hour, 5 p.m. to midnight. You'll get 2 to 3 inches of rain. And yeah, that's it. It's one of those storms. Late start for schools. Let's go with that. Roads are treated, though. We do have that working in our favor for having school. I think there will be delays, though, and mostly over inland parts of Maine. You're welcome, Susan. Thanks for checking in. Hi, Sybil. Icing up in Rumford. All right, so you're starting to get some icing there, Joshua. Thank you very much. In Rumford, right along Route 2. Let's take a look back at the radar for a minute. There's the winter weather advisory. Let's go back. We can get, oh, there's the current radar. Get a little bit closer. There we go. Sounds treacherous. Yeah, untreated roads could be a little icy. I don't know about treacherous. I think if we had untreated roads, I think if we had no salt on the roads and we had freezing rain coming in, then we'd have some problems. We'll probably still will in spots, but you get the heavy rain that comes in later tomorrow. I mean, that'll wash all the salt off the roads, but then we're not dealing with freezing rain. We're talking about temps in the 50s late in the day tomorrow. All right. Angel says Livermore Falls. All right. Livermore Falls, Northern Androscoggin County. Livermore Falls checking in. Thank you very much for watching tonight, Angel. My guess is you're asking what's happening in Livermore Falls. Yeah, you'll get some gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour tomorrow evening and 2 to 3 inches of rain. Sounds like no school, Brandy says. We'll see. My guess is there'll be some delays, or you just send them to school. Hello, Phyllis. Sounds like no school. All right, everybody's checking in with that. Will the snow melt completely or near completely in southern Franklin County and power outage chance there? Connor, all right. Will the snow melt completely? I don't know. How much snow do you have on the ground, Connor? I think most of it goes away, even in the mountains. I mean, that's going to be hard to hold on to. If you get 2 inches of rain and temperatures trying to get into the 40s and 50s. Yeah, what a crazy weather change. Last week at this time, we were getting ready for an Arctic outbreak. Coastal flooding and power outages, yes. No. Coastal flooding, good question. Power outages, yes. Coastal flooding, we're looking at the storm hitting at low tide, and the tides are not running astronomically high. So coastal flooding, no. Power outages, yes. Becky, hello from York. 5 to get my brother at work at 5:30. Can we just have 15 to 25? No, the winds will be a little bit stronger than that at 5:30. Becky, yeah, no, it looks pretty strong. You'll probably start to get some gusts around 40 miles per hour around 4 or 5 o'clock or so. So yeah, it'll be gusty. Didn't we have a wind rainstorm last year December 17th and 18th? This one shouldn't be as bad as that one, Carlos. Good memory. Thanks for checking in. I think we have a trace of snow after that. Yeah, maybe. We'll rebuild it starting next weekend. How's that? A week from Saturday, we'll start rebuilding the snowpack. Do you think Gorham area? So Gorham, Maine, or Gorham, New Hampshire? My guess, Gorham, Maine. Do we think we'll get strong winds? Yes, I think Gorham, Maine will probably get wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour. Let's go with that. But we can handle that a lot better than we could just a few months ago with frozen ground and no leaves on the trees. That's an important part. So yeah, I already picked up some gas for my generator just in case. It's worth mentioning. Your local weatherman picked up some gas for the generator as a just in case we lose power. It's like when the weatherman goes to buy a snow shovel. Everyone always asks, do we have something to look out for? We've been caught in that one before too. Dresden, Maine wind gusts looking at 60 mile per hour. Dresden, yeah, I mean, Midcoast, Maine will probably get some gusts 55 to 65. So yeah. Sybil, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Sybil. Oh, thank you, Brandy. It's very nice of you. Will all the rain turn to ice by Thursday? Good question. I don't think so. I think the temps will get into the low 30s Thursday morning, Brooke. But I don't think we'll get below freezing for most areas. We'll probably get down to low 30s, but something to keep an eye on for Thursday morning. And then we'll climb to around 40, upper 30s, around 40 during the day. So we're not expecting a rapid freeze. The other item that will help us out there is the wind stays active. Not nearly as strong as tomorrow night, but overnight after midnight when the wind shifts over to the west, we'll have consistent gusts over 20 miles per hour. So that'll be enough to dry up the roadways. So I think by the time you get up Thursday morning, a lot of the at least exposed pavement will be all dried up thanks to the wind. You're welcome, Sybil. Thank you very much. How about Lisbon? Lisbon, let's go with Gus 40. 40 Lisbon. Let's go 45 to 50 miles per hour. No, I'm going to go, somewhere between 40 and 50, I bet. Like, I don't know. I'm not convinced Lewiston's going to get gusts to 50. That's why I included that contour in 40 to 55. Because like Lewiston, I can see the airport in Auburn getting gusts of like, I don't know, like 43 or something, you know. But these, I mean, all it takes is one gust, you know. Sanford wind. Sanford winds gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour tomorrow, Alley. And that's 5 p.m. to probably about 11 p.m., somewhere in there. A little bit sooner the farther west you are. So maybe 4 p.m. to maybe 11 p.m. Let's go with. Natasha, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Very informative. Oh, good. I hope the forecast works out now. After you left a nice comment, this better work out, right? Thank you very much, Natasha. What time's freezing rain to start? Okay, so many of you are already seeing some freezing rain. And let's take a look at the winter weather advisory remains in effect until 4 a.m. at the coast, until 10 a.m. tomorrow inland. That would probably be dropped a little bit early, but the Weather Service usually likes to keep these going as like a window just to keep an eye on here for freezing rain. So we're seeing light freezing rain and freezing drizzle moving in, and the radar should look a little healthier later on tonight as more of a steadier precip tries to move in. So in Portland, we will probably get some freezing rain until like 5, 6 o'clock or so, and then slowly see that transition above freezing, Gabe. So I hope that answers your question. Will this eat all the snow? Yes, fog eating snow. Yeah, I think it's all gone, Ashley, after this. That's what I think is going to happen. Just too many things working against us here. So, yeah. There's the wind advisory. Am I thinking widespread power outages, Morgan? I think, I plan on some power outages. I don't think, if I had to pick a number, I haven't even thought about this. Pick a number. I'm going to go 180,000. Let's go 180,000. Yeah. Something like that. 150, 180. That's going to be, that's my number. I don't know. Is that widespread? I mean, the ice storm in 98 was 300. The December, let's see, the pre-Halloween blackout, I think that was like 400,000. So just to put into perspective for you, that was just about everyone. There was that April storm last year. I think that got over 300,000 too. That early April snowstorm with the heavy wet snow. So I'm going 180. Let's go 180,000 for tomorrow. I'm always really bad at predicting the power outages, though. But I can give you the wind speeds. I can give you the gusts, but yeah, that's not my expertise, I guess. But it's kind of fun to try to pick a number. Let's go 180. All right. Susan, hello. All right. Thank you. You're welcome. Waldoboro, winds in Waldoboro. Gust 40 to 50, Andrea. Tomorrow evening, 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. Freezing rain, Jay. Thanks, Kaylee. Appreciate that. You have freezing rain in Jay. Let's take a look at Jay right now. The town of Jay. Nice spot right there in southern Franklin County. Let's stop the Doppler. And the winter mosaic radar is a hard time sometimes picking up on the precip type. There's Jay right there. Yeah, you get a little freezing right along Route 2. A lot of freezing rain is moving into that area. There's more off to the south, and this will be moving in later on tonight. So let's actually put the full radar on. You can kind of see that. I had to jump between the Taunton radar. Doesn't look too impressive, at least initially, but that radar should look a little healthier later on tonight. Are the roads going to be bad tomorrow morning? Crystal says. It's my feeling they're not. I think there will be some freezing rain in the morning, but the reason I say no is I think there's a tremendous amount of salt already on the roads. I think that helps out, when you have the freezing rain. I'll bring you to the morning hours tomorrow, and I'll show you what I mean. Oh, no. That's 12:30. So that's 5 a.m. So this is like, yeah. So the problem spots will be, especially inland parts of York, Cumberland County. I don't think Mid-Coast Maine will have any issues really. But from Sebago Lake to Lewiston to Augusta, those will be the spots again for freezing rain. But again, there's a lot of salt in the roads. 25 in Winthrop and freezing rain. Thanks, Jason. All right. A lot of good reports tonight. Thank you. Very cold in South Portland. Yesterday was a mess. Yeah, we got 2 to 4 inches of snow. It was great. Well, some people like the snow. I personally like the snow, but considering you're calling it a mess, Payson, I think you probably dislike the snow. But it's all going to wash away. What time for Biddeford? All right. My guess, what time for rain? Heaviest rain? Or what time for strongest winds? All right. We'll just outline both. Strongest winds 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. for you, Lisa, in Biddeford on Wednesday. And tomorrow, rain intermittent all day. A little freezing rain is possible early in the day, but the heaviest will probably be early nighttime hours, 8, 9 o'clock or so. That'll be the heaviest rain, strongest winds, and warm temperatures in the 50s. How's that? Auburn. Okay. Patricia, thanks for checking in from Auburn. Yeah, Auburn, gust 40 to 50. And you'll get 2 to 3 inches of rain. Huh. I get it. My wife's a teacher too. I understand. I have kids at home. Everyone's asking, are we going to get tomorrow off? You have a shot at a delay, I think. Let's see how that works out. Megan, what winds do you expect in Windham? All right, Windham, gust 40 to 50. Since you're not at the coastline, I don't think you'll get a lot of gusts over 50 there. So, yeah, and that's 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. for you, Morgan. What time's the freezing rain start in Biddeford? It starts tonight, anytime tonight, and extends through probably 5 a.m. or so, somewhere in there. But the good news is in Biddeford, you're right at the coast, and you're probably going to be right at the freezing mark in the morning hours. So it might take a little while to get above freezing, but you will. You'll be one of the first to get above freezing tomorrow, Lisa. Wind for Bath tomorrow. Gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour, Michelle. Let's go 5 p.m. to midnight. Strongest winds. How do you know where all the towns are? Oh, I fake it, Natasha. Don't worry, I fake it. No, I don't know. I've been actually, I'm coming up on my 20th year here. So I've been around and before that I was up in Bangor and I was down in Providence. I was up in Mount Washington for a while. So I've been in the area for 30 years or so. So yeah, thanks for good question. I always like to visit each town and get to know them after a while. A lot of nice towns in Maine here. Last time we had a storm forecast like this, we couldn't get our son from Farmington to Starks. Slightly. Yeah, I hear you, Matt. Yeah, so that was was it last year, the December 17th, 18th storm? This one's not expected to be as bad as that storm. Yeah, that's good news there. But yeah, this is one to take seriously. Anytime you have flooding potential, strong winds, something to be mindful of. With that said, though, there's a few things that are different from that storm. It's the duration's not as long. Rivers are running lower. The surge of warm temperatures are not going to be as long as duration as we had from that December 17th, 18th storm last year. So it won't be as bad as that storm. But we'll probably have some problems. Any clue? Southern Maine Community College is supposed to. Any clue on how the area around? Yeah, Payson. Yeah, I think you'll get some gusts. Probably SMCC. Let's think. Yeah, you probably get some gusts around 45 to 55 miles per hour, and you'll get 2 to 3 inches of rain. But you'll probably get above freezing pretty early tomorrow. So, and then you'll just go to plain rain. So yeah, you can see even Portland's at 32 at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Spinning a little bit of snow there in Sydney. Good to know. Thank you very much, Alicia. Hello, Sarah from Androscoggin County. All right. Hello, Sarah. Patty, what time will Biddeford and Saco rain start? I mean, it's going to start as drizzle really any minute, but I think that the rain is just going to be intermittent, fairly light initially, and it picks up tomorrow during the day. Uh, Patty. So overnight it's just light, freezing rain to rain. But the heavy stuff is tomorrow evening probably. Rockland, Maine. Rockland's going to get some strong gusts. This is Thompson. Let's go through the gusts real quick. If you're just joining us, we can do that. We still have a bunch of people on here. Thank you for sticking with us here. This is late tomorrow, seeing some gusts. See the gusts over 50. I think we'll get some gusts 50, 55 or so. And then Rockland, your peak gusts will probably be 10, 11 o'clock is my guess. And you'll probably see some gusts around 60. For whatever reason, the airport there doesn't get the strongest winds. I've seen Wiscasset sometimes get stronger winds than you. And it must be something about the airport, maybe the tree structure around it or what. But you'd think that Rockland would always get some strong winds, and sometimes they miss out on them. So that's something to look for tomorrow. Either way, though, I think you'll get gusts over 60 tomorrow. Wendy Lee. Yeah, in Biddeford, you'll get gusts 45 to 55 miles per hour tomorrow. I'll show that graphic. There we go. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold here, so I'm trying to hold on to my voice. I might have to say goodbye in a few minutes here so I can do the 10, 11 o'clock news. Teresa Gray, how bad does the week look? Oh, thank you very much. Thanks, Teresa. Appreciate it very much. That was nice of Teresa or Terry. Thank you. I hope it doesn't get bad in Palmyra. Yeah, I mean, you'll get 2 to 3 inches of rain probably, and you'll get some gusts. Palmyra, you get up to central Maine, you get some gusts around 50. I think Augusta always gets some decent wind there. I think they're elevated a little bit there at the airport. Manchester, Maine. Yeah, windy in Manchester. Oh, you're welcome, Suzanne from Sanford. All right. With wind gusts 5 o'clock to midnight in Brunswick, or is it just the time frame for the whole state? Yeah. So I've been highlighting like the winds will start ramping up around 5 p.m. We'll start getting gusts over 40 miles per hour at 5 p.m. and we'll stop that probably at midnight. And where you are in Brunswick, it's probably more likely maybe 11 o'clock. Rockland, for instance, Penobscot Bay, looking at the whole area, our area goes to Penobscot Bay. That's more likely midnight there. So it's just a range of the time frame to be prepared for some of our strongest winds. All right, Dave, hello to you. How are things going with you? All right. Thank you for checking in. We still have snow the trees in Dixfield. Is it going to rain hard enough, soon enough to get that off the trees? Oh yeah, that could be another issue there in Dixfield for sure. I think we'll have enough rain to get the snow off the trees. That's my guess, Bill. Because it's going to be raining on and off all day tomorrow. However, the freezing rain won't knock the snow off, so that will stick to everything. All right. What time are things going to start to warm up and unfreeze? I like it. All right. Let's look at. I'll just walk through this here, and this will kind of walk us through the day real quick, Christina. So let's go back to the beginning. I think this model has a pretty good handle on it. Notice a little bit of freezing rain, 4 a.m. continuing there. This takes us to 10 a.m. We're still in the 30s. There's nothing warm until probably late afternoon. That's 2:30. Still nothing warm about this except for Portsmouth and maybe Rockland. And after that, we'll get into the 50s. So 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m. It's one of those where in 1 hour, it may jump 10, 15 degrees. That would be cool. I think that's going to happen. Yeah, good idea. Keep the flashlight near you, Terry. Yeah, keep everything charged up. Merry Christmas. You too, Kathy. Appreciate it. Kathy in Buxton. Yeah, you'll probably get gusts 40 to 50 there, Kathy, in Buxton, and 2 to 3 inches of rain. Your strongest winds will be closer to the early nighttime hours, opposed to the late nighttime hours tomorrow. Sydney, Augusta area winds. Ooh, Augusta. I bet Augusta gets over 50 miles per hour. I'm going 50, 53. 53 or 53 miles per hour in Augusta. I like it. I like taking guesses like this. Do you think school might be canceled tomorrow, Patty? Well, you're referring to the freezing rain potential leading to icing. The roads are pretty well treated, but there will be freezing rain that continues into the morning tomorrow. And I think there will be some delays for that reason, especially inland. 20s in Sanford. All right, Terry, it's going to stay in the 20s tonight. All right, Lisa. All right, thank you very much. Curious what Mount Washington will experience. Yeah, I'm curious too. Yeah, they're going to get some strong southerly winds. I haven't even worked on Mount Washington's forecast. So if they'll get gusts over 100 miles per hour probably. But it's going to warm up there too. I saw that Tuckerman Ravine had a big avalanche last weekend, and there'll probably be more avalanches in the coming days. You see this sometimes. You get these big wet avalanches that happen. I saw something from the Avalanche Center that they were talking about elevated risk of avalanches in the coming days after the storm. So, yeah, it's too bad because they were off to a good snow start too. Wind in Rockland. Okay, Rockland wind gusts 55 to 65 miles per hour. All right. Hopefully I've answered everyone's questions. I think I'm going to leave it at that. Newfield, you'll get gusts around 40 miles per hour. Not quite as strong there, Stephanie. Hope that answers your question there. All right. Let's leave it as that tonight. Thanks for joining us tonight. You still have about 100 of you hanging out. So I appreciate that. And a little freezing rain tonight. And then tomorrow, main concern is the flooding by evening and also the potential for some power outages. So one of those multi-variable storms. Sun returns on Thursday. We'll have some new information and new updates coming up tonight on Fox 23 at 10 and CBS 13 at 11. All right. Have a nice night, everyone. Take care. Thanks for joining us.